What is it? Just organization,
That's true.
stability, efficient, effective, corruption-free government and administration. Everything works, whether it's water, electricity, gas, telephones, telexes. It just has to work. If it doesn't work, I want to know why. And if I'm not satisfied, as I often was not, the chief goes. And I have to find another chief. Firing a chief is very simple.
Singapore's on the broken track. Let's change it. South Korea have a military court martial law. Right? The president called for a martial law. President Yoon called for a martial law, right? But it flopped. Okay? It flopped. And Tokyo, most likely Tokyo, tomorrow he's going to face the music of impeachment for the parliament. Now, what is happening in South Korea? Roughly, I go through. Now, South Korea was a one-party rule, or rather a dictatorship rule, right? Way back in the 1980s, before the 1980s. They're used to military intervention, right? There are military coups before the 1980s, very often, I think 2 or 3 times. The change of power always starts with a military coup, then end up with a bloody coup or bloodless coup, but always the military men take power until 1981 or 1982. Right? And Chen Tohan comes into power, and that stopped. And the process of democracy took place. Now, the justification for the military rule was that they were technically at war with North Korea. So North Korea is always the boogeyman, right? All dictatorship likes to use boogeyman tactic, right? Whether it's perceived or real, they will tell you, oh, we have this threat. It will create a besiege mentality among the citizens. You cannot survive without us. You cannot survive with iron fist rule, right? Dictatorship. If so, wow, all the people, all the enemies around us will come and eat us up. And that is actually what this President Wu Yun, right, uses. I want to clear off the North Korean sympathizer. Right? He tried to sell the ideas that North Korea is our enemies and these are traitors, right? They side with the North Korea, and I must get rid of them. That's why I want a military rule or a martial law, call in a martial law. Okay. So this is the pattern. How dictatorship try to brainwash their citizens into giving them uninterrupted and unchecked powers. That happened actually in Singapore also. Although we did not have a military rule, but we have so many generals as a prime minister or ministers, correct? But it's not so. Not only that, right? We didn't have really a martial law or military rule, but PAP have used a very soft or rather benevolent, they always call it, right? Tactic, brainwashing, scaring all the Singaporeans. You know, without us or without Lee Kuan Yew iron fist, all these neighbors will eat us up, right? Right? Because we are the little red dot in the green, so to speak. It creates an imagery or perception of enmity. It means all of us are enemies. So you don't play, don't anyhow vote give your votes to opposition, then we will die, right? that's their thinking, right? They'll perceive Malaysia as our enemy, potential enemy, Indonesia as a potential enemy, and so on and so forth, right? Of course, racial issues will always be played out, right? The scare tactic. They use a lot of psychological fear, instill a lot of psychological fear into citizens to give them unchecked powers. And this unchecked powers is actually getting worse. We thought that after Lee Kuan Yew passed away, we should be more liberal, right? Everybody expected. Gone are the days of the Iron Man, Iron Fist rule. Gone are the days with a strong man like LKY. Our society should progress, correct? But no. In fact, the reverse happened. The rules and laws enacted by PAP, right after LKY's passed away, or during that time when he's in the midst of passing away, a lot of laws have changed. Give the police and the political leaders, ministers, unchecked powers. Recently, there was one case, right? HSA people, HSA, not police, can actually ask you to open your door and enter your premises and do search without search warrant. They are not police, right? They are just HSA people. And not only HSA people have such power, right? NEA people also, officer also have such power, right? They say, oh, got dengue, must check. I don't, you must let me in or else you will be charged. Right? That's sort of law, right? Then police, last time they search warrant, now no need, right? Basically no need. Of course, there is still a process of having to apply for a search warrant, but now, right, there are provision for situation that they do not even need a search warrant to bang into your house, right? And of course, we have HOFMA, we have FICA, right? We actually change. You see, compared to LKY, these buggers are really going in for dictatorship, During LKY time, at least the rule says, maybe younger people will not know, the rule says any assembly of more than 5 people will be considered as illegal assembly, correct? Now, even one person can be considered as illegal assembly. What is assembly? Assembly must have more than one, right? one person can can be called assembly. That is a very absurd law, but it happens not during LKY's time, right? It's after he stepped down. So, is our country progressing towards democracy, to build a democratic society as we pledge every day, our student every day we pledge, right, to build a democratic society for Singapore? No, never, right? We are fast becoming a police state, right? And I'm going to share one incident with all of you here, right? As a public figure, a political public figure and opposition, I received a letter from LTA. Oh, no, from traffic police, sorry. And this traffic police letter said that someone with a vehicle number also, right, have lodged a police report against my vehicle, my car that I drive. right? That I hit and run. That means I hit his car and I drove away without stopping. Hit and run car incidents, right? And so we are supposed to actually provide the details of the drivers, right? Then there was a date stated. My car plate number was put there. Basket. It was about 2-3 weeks after the incident that I received the letter in my letterbox. Right? Luckily, we opened the letterbox. Sometimes I don't open my letterbox that often. I look at it. Wow. Okay. Something happened 2-3 weeks ago. I ask you, can you remember what you eat 2-3 weeks ago? Lunch or dinner, right? Uh, okay, last Friday, what do you have for dinner? Can you remember? Believe me, I don't remember. I believe most people don't remember. So to ask me, right, was I involved in a hit and run incident of a certain vehicle? No color of the vehicle was stated, right? And a certain road was mentioned, right? A certain time, right? But how can I remember? Old man already. I don't go and register, where I go, where I eat, where I shit, But luckily, on that particular day, because it's a special day, because I have to send my sister early in the morning, right, to uh, to take a ferry to Batam. So that was a special day that I can recall. Then we start to recall what happened. During that period of time, what happened? Early in the morning, I drove her there. I came back, I was so tired, I slept, right? So the alleged incident was about 10 or 11 a.m., something like that, right? Something like that, huh? Somewhere in the Kovan side, right? Somewhere lah, Hougang Kovan side. I must refer back to the letter, huh? What? Oh, 12 plus, sorry. 12 plus, okay? The incident was said to happen at 12 plus, right? In a certain route. I don't even recognize the route. I seldom drive around like that, right? That place is quite alien to me. So I was trying to recall. Okay, I went. Luckily, my wife recall. We went to uh, Galimat to have lunch. Okay, and before that, actually, I was sleeping. I came back to sleep. Okay, so my car most probably is parked in my car park here, or traveling to Galimat, right, and park in that car park, right? Can recall, not bad already, because that was 2-3 weeks ago when we received. Then I'm supposed to make a police report to explain what happened. How can how can I explain? Never mind. I just say it is. I go and search what is the car park number here, what is the car park number there, then tell them, oh, this is the car park number. Most probably my car travel from this car park to that car park during this period of time. And there's no way I can travel off unless my car can fly lah. No lah, cannot be lah, right? Right? So let the officer go and check. And by right, the letter they sent to us supposed to say that, oh, after we provide the information, right, if there's a need for further investigation, they will inform us within 7 days, right? But up to now, 2 months now, about 2 months or more, no sight, no sound. 3 months, coming to 3 months, almost 3 months, no sight, no sound. Then I say, we actually called up the police traffic police. Right? Press 1, press 2, then leave telephone, leave message, leave telephone number. We email them, no reply. And you know what? Just yesterday only, today or yesterday, there was the propaganda mainstream media was boasting Singapore was rated as a top civil service in the world. Right? Number one, is this a top the way the top civil service do things or not? Right? You send me a letter and claim that I was involved in a hit and run. Actually, it's a crime it's an offense to be involved in a hit and run traffic incident. You make the claim. It's a serious claim. You want me to send details to you. After 3 months, right? No sight, no sound. Not even to tell me investigation is still ongoing or is a mistaken identity. You know, I'm a public figure. I have a lot of enemies, whether it's from PAP or other parties. Right? People can just suka file police report. Right? They might have seen I drive my car, right? My family car with a family plate. Just report hit and run. This car. I want to know why it was reported that way. Who reported that? That's number one. Right? And I want to investigate whether it's a deliberate attempt to smear me. Okay? Because to get the car numbers correct, it's not easy, okay? Why? Because all our, maybe you all don't know, but all our car plate numbers in front got SMB, SME, whatever, right? Then you can got a number, right? The back number alphabet is actually the check alphabet, right? That means 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4. That means SME 1, SME 1, 2, 3, 4. The check alphabet is actually computerized, right? It must be, for example, it must be E. It cannot be A. It cannot be B. It cannot be C. It must be E. Okay? To get the whole plate number correct, right? You either really saw my car hitting your car, or right, you know that I drove the car and you want to sabo me lah. And that's malicious. And it's a crime to make false police report. Right? I want to get to the bottom of this. I've been a safe driver for all my life. Zero accident caused by me. Most of the time is people bang my car. Only in recent years, right? 3 times. Right? My record is super clean in driving. Okay? Super clean. And I want to know who is the one who made such malicious police report. And where got time to entertain all this nonsense? Right? If I'm in Parliament, I will bring this up. Of course, not like the Workers' Party, Miss Khan, lying. I got all the facts. I want to know. Right? I hope Shanmugam is watching this. Right? A top world-class civil service we supposedly got the top rating in the world, cannot just chin push such a case away. No reply, bo chap. How can you do that? Right? It's my reputation at stake, Then you play. Right? That's why. Last time still okay lah, huh? Last time still got reply. Now it's getting worse. That's why I say Singapore is on a broken track. Right? Let's change it. But PAP likes to be very boastful about themselves. In spite of all those boo-boos. I will watch the video that Mothership posted. Someone actually posted to me and say it's time for you to whack, right? About Chin Hong Tak. Right? So Mothership was actually asking Chin Hong Tak, since you come in, become the transport minister, so many things happen and all that. I do not know what he replied. I am going to watch later. Right? Oh. The French government, the Prime Minister, this is the Prime Minister of the French government, also collapsed. He resigned after a motion of no confidence was passed in Parliament. Okay? It is. I'm going to tell you why I'm talking about governance for this time round. Right? First, it's a military coup, or rather a martial law called by Korean, flunk, and most of it is going to be forced out. And now the French government is going bust. Now, both Korea and France have very different system from us. Okay, the power lies with the president. Right, the president have a lot of power and is elected separately. So whoever is the president may not have his own party to be in power, so to speak. That happens in South Korea. Okay, why? Okay, in South Korea, the president appoints the cabinet, not the parliament. It's unlike us. For us, our president is just like a flower vase, right? By Sui, no real power, right? Ceremonial mainly, right? Except the key also not much use one. Okay, so and the power of the president have been slashed or undermined by the new constitution amendment lately, right? The appointment and all that is a very complex thing, but never mind. So I am talking about the differences. In Singapore, the ruling party, the party that gained most seats in parliament, will form the government, and you will appoint the prime minister and the ministers. And technically, I can tell you, the ministers do not need to be an MP. A lot of you don't know. It is true. Even the speakers of parliament do not need to be an MP in the first place. Right? Because in the constitution, it's silent on that. It just says that the ruling party, right, will be tasked to form the government. But it did not say that all the ministers or even the prime ministers must be an MP, elected MP. Okay? A very strange way of doing things. In the South Korea, it's the other way around. The president is the most important. Then you will appoint, once you win as a president, then you appoint the cabinet ministers, right? Even the chief, not the parliament, right? And the cabinet ministers may or may not be elected as a parliamentary members, right? This system is the same, it's actually quite common. It's the same as US, right? Trump comes into power, he can appoint anyone who may not be a congressman, may not be the senators, to be the ministers. They don't call them minister, they call them secretary, secretary of defense, secretary of health and all that, right? So what happened is this, in Korea, right, the People's Power Party, not my People's Party, the Korean People's Party, the president candidate becomes the president. So he appoint the cabinet. But his own party, right, the Conservative Party, lost most of the seats to the Democratic Party, the Liberal and Democratic Party. So his party did not have full control of the parliament. So what happened was, due to a lot of scandals and all, a lot of fightings, because the president's wife go and accepted a gift, a very, this wife likes bags, expensive bags, like Kate Spade, Kate Spade like that. They like bags, so they accepted free, very expensive bags, and it was exposed and becomes a scandal. So the so-called opposition, which controls the parliament, right, want to impeach the president for that. Right? So he was resistant. Of course, some of his ministers also alleged to be corrupted. So there was a struggle. And when it comes to the end of this month, they are supposed to pass their budget also for next year. So passing of budget have to be done by the parliament. When your own party don't control the parliament, then you have a problems. The opposition can use excuses like, you're corrupt, we are not going to pass your budget, right? That created the crisis. Right? But the South Korean have gone through dictatorship, and they changed the system to a democracy. So they are they will not go back to dictatorship and martial law. So any politician, not any politician, any president who want to call for a martial law will get a backlash. There was one who tried after the democracy system was actually built up. He cannot overthrow and cannot charge and cannot throw into the prison. Right? So the Korean are very tough tribes. Their mental state is very tough. When you see the Korean protests, it's very synchronized and very coordinated like that one. All do the same movement. Like the unions are very powerful. Right? I've seen them before protesting when in Hong Kong, when the World Trade Organization was holding or is it APEC, was holding a meeting in Hong Kong. Then the Korean farmers went to Hong Kong to protest. Right? That was in the early year 2000. Right? They are very human. Now, it is only with the people's power. Ironically, this president own party is called People's Power Party, but he has been overthrown by the People's Power Party. The very power that his party want to represent, overthrown. Right? His edict of wanting a martial law. Imagine. Like what I've said, PAP right now are tightening the screws, tightening the laws because they know all the funny laws. Never before can cross national borders on the law. Okay? Right? can cross the POFMA, the POFMA law can apply cross national borders, right? You saw all sort of laws, rules, funny rules, not heard before in the world history, just to maintain power. But Singaporeans are muted. If PAP in future, any point of time, right, they are so-called voted out of power, but they decided, no, I don't want to go down. It must be what, communist or whatever, influence, bad influence by enemies, like the excuse given. I want to declare martial law. Will Singaporeans stand up and protest like what the South Koreans have done? I seriously doubt so. Right? I seriously doubt so. Because Singaporeans do not treasure democracy. In fact, Singaporeans allows the PAP government to encroach into their rights bits by bits without protest, or even keep voting them in as a ruling party. Right? If they do not do anything about it in the past, I do not expect them to do anything about it in the future as well. Because we are cultivated to be a tribe of a timid and fearful. We have been on constant brainwashing, the psychological war of fear, right? It's harming our mindset. Right? And that's why most Singaporeans are risk averse. Not only in political field, in whatever they do. Okay? I know this is not going to sound good or sound nice to a lot of people. But the first step of problem solving is to recognize the problem. And we must face our shortcomings as a people head on. Right? So the same actually happens in France, right? What happened was there are three blocks of parties. There are many parties in France, okay? But they can be classified as three blocks. The leftists, the centrists, and the rightists. Right? In last election, what happened was the ultra right, which is called the National Front. National Front or National Reform, right? They are anti-immigrants, right? And they are considered far right parties. Win an exceptional numbers of seats, which tilted the balance of power within the political arena. And what happened was, no one have more than half of the seats, right? So Macron, which is the president, was hoping to have a coalition government, right? He was hoping that the centrists, his party is a centrist party, could tie up with the leftists to form a coalition government. But the leftists, right, didn't like him also, so refused to. So what he has done is he has appointed a minority government. That means the government who chose the prime minister and his cabinet ministers does not have over 50% of the seats, right? So it's actually very fragile. So what happened is this guy, I think he's an academic, if I'm not wrong, used to be very well respected one. Right? He was termed as a best negotiator. However, when it comes to the budget, same lah, you have to pass the budget by the 31st, right? So The other two factions, the right and the left, do not agree with his budget. Basically, his budget is to cut spending, right? Because France is facing a very serious deficit uh, for many years already since the COVID time. Right? He want to cut spending. So neither the right or left like the idea. So there was a struggle. But there's a pressure to actually pass the budget. So this prime minister uses a special power, just like South Korean. When you give special power, people really think that they're really special and they are powerful, right? Only the South Korean, in the South Korea, only the president can call for a martial law, right? In the case of France, the prime minister actually have a one power actually to call, to exercise, to pass the budget without the consent of the parliament, right? That was what he have done. He thought that by using that special power, right, he can just pass a budget lah, no, hack it, and life goes on. But he was wrong, right? The left was very happy, so they call for a no confidence vote. The right also want to call for a no confidence vote. So both of them pakat, combine of effort and throw him out of place. By the constitution, when you lost a no confidence vote uh, motion, the government have to resign. So he have resigned. Talking about uncertainty of like this. If you remember, Lawrence Wong, the newly appointed, I do not know why they say appointed, appointed Secretary General of PAP. It should not be appointed. It should be elected. Right? Appointed, that means you don't need to go through the process of election. Then someone must appoint you, right? Then who appoint you? He actually give, when I read the Yahoo News, when he used, Lawrence Wong was appointed as a Secretary General. Then who is your big boss up there that appoint you? Cannot be, right? You must be the first among equals, just like LKY. I don't believe they will report as, LKY was appointed as Secretary General. No, Lim Pei is a Secretary General, right? Was elected as a Secretary General, not appointed. Definitely. So the way media choose words also reflects certain mindset. He was appointed, not elected. Right? Even if it's a CC election, even LKY have to go through the CC among the CC to elect him as the Secretary General. He was not appointed by anyone. And there was rumors, a very long time rumors, that he was challenged by Toh Chin Chai. Right? No. Yeah, he was challenged, or rather, they were choosing between him or Dr. Gong Keng Shui. Right? Toh Chin Chai supported LKY eventually. So he won the post of Secretary General by one vote. He was not appointed, he won. Even among the equals, his CEC members. Right? There's rumors, don't know whether it's true or not, but there was such a rumor. Right? So he was never appointed, he was always elected by his peers. Right? So Lawrence Wong actually said something during the PAP convention. Remember what I say? PAP may lose power, Correct? He said, don't worry, opposition will not be wiped out because there will always be 12 NCMP seat, correct? I say, boss, to you. Right? I will never be beholden to my opponents. If I want to go into parliament, I want to win it with a full mandate of the voters, not a half-ass mandate. Then he said, oh, on the other hand, PAP may lose, may lose more GRCs, 3 or 4 more, or even lose power. Don't assume the PAP will always in power. What he's trying, I will tell you, next election, they will raise this situation in South Korea, this situation in French, right? In France, right? To say that you see, you will have a disunity, if you don't give us strong mandate, you end up like South Korea and France, government collapse and all that. I said, no, it will not happen in Singapore in my lifetime. Why? This is supposed to be part of the issue I will raise, right, during my foreign policy forum. If you are interested, right, try and listen. We'll talk about this. We definitely have to respond to PAP's exertion, right? Such claims. We will explore with my speakers, my various speakers, right? What are the possible scenarios, even if PAP lose most of the seats? Right? Well, we have James Gomez, the political scientist, right? And he will explain to you. I hope so. He will explain to you what are the most likely outcome if that happens, which I do not believe will happen in my lifetime, because Singaporeans being Singaporeans, with a lot of new citizens coming in. I explained in my last live chat. Actually, PAP do not need more than 50% of locally born Singaporeans' votes in order to come into power again. Right? Only 1/3 of locally born Singaporeans give them the votes, they will become the government. Why? Very simple. The new citizens, most of them will vote for PAP. That's how I see it. We will explore this assertion, right, by Lawrence Wong during this foreign policy forum.